Okay, test the stream, make sure I don't have any buffering issues again. Okay, test the stream, make sure. Okay, just gonna get this thing set up because I was having some streaming issues, so this time it came out a little kind of sloppy. So give it some time. See if some people show up. But anyway, as you can probably tell by the title of the stream, it's going to be a quick one. Just going to give my thoughts on a few things. It's not really going to be an open chat. Just going to give my thoughts on a few things, and keep in mind these are pretty basic thoughts. I'm not, one of these expert, Linux news guys, but I'll do my best to give my thoughts on a few things here, because there are some big things kind of happening. I guess as you could tell by the title, I'm going to be addressing something that, if you haven't already seen the video, Brian Lunduk did a video not that long ago about, is Linux boring? And by the way, the beverage of choice for tonight is good old Spaten. But more to the point, my thoughts on Linux being boring. Let me send this link out. See if I can get some people to jump in here. If anybody's here, feel free to send a chat. I'll stream as long as my network allows it. I was having buffering issues when I first tried to get it streaming, but yeah, it seems like it's pretty healthy this time. Okay, so let's get to the point. Is Linux boring? First, let me start by saying that I actually just bear with me on this. It's gonna sound, let me explain that I agree with Brian Lunduk what he said about Linux. However, I don't believe those things make Linux boring per se. Do I think it's boring in a way? Yeah, in the sense that it's very stable. It's rock solid. I mean, some people could say that it's kind of stagnated a little bit, but like what Brian said is it's like that with Microsoft and Mac too. It's not just Linux. Now that being said, I have been running the same. I do say this a lot. I've been running the same installation of Arch Linux since I don't know 2 years ago. I installed it. I haven't had to reinstall it, and that's not saying that I haven't had bugs or anything, but the issues I ran into are the issues regarding NVIDIA and things that aren't exactly what you consider new user friendly, especially in Linux. But here's the thing: Arch is supposed to be one of the most unstable distros out there. I put that in quotation marks, unstable, and yet it's been stable enough to power my main system for 2 years without breaking. And that's supposed to be the unstable distro. Okay, so what does I say about the stable ones? In a sense, I can see why some people would say that it's gotten boring because nothing breaks anymore. I don't have to fix anything. Everything is so easy and simple, and those are good things. But that being said, I don't think it's so boring because let's look at it this way. We have a lot of releases coming out. We have GNOME 4 is coming out next year. GNOME 40, whatever it is that they're calling it. GTK 4 is coming out. There's still development being done, and so I don't think that is boring. I just think that we should be looking for the excitement in other places. Though that's just my thoughts on the matter. I still think Linux is exciting because I learn something new all the time in it, and like I said, it for me it's just been working for 2 years. That to me is pretty exciting that Linux has come this far. Now, I guess on to my thoughts about CentOS or CentOS. I don't know much about what happened there, and I'm far from being a system sysadmin or anything like that, so I don't know much about CentOS or Red Hat Server Edition or anything. But from what I can gather, what we're dealing with is a situation where a company just did what companies do. It's trying to make money. IBM is trying to make money. For those that don't know, IBM bought Red Hat, and CentOS, from what I can gather, was meant to be a free open source or a free unpaid clone of Red Hat Enterprise, which is a paid distribution. Okay, now from what I can gather, IBM buys Red Hat. CentOS came out with CentOS, I think it was 8 or 7. I forget what the latest version was, but anyway, they come up with this version promising a 10-year life cycle, and then all of a sudden it's kaput, gone. We're not going to support it past next year. That's not gonna lie. I kind of think that I don't think that the CentOS developers wanted to do that per se. I think just on the human level that was kind of messed up. It's like, 'cause how many people put that on their servers, on their web servers, then thinking, okay, this web server is set for 10 years. And then all of a sudden, no, you have 1 year with it. So, what are my thoughts on this scenario? Number one, my thoughts would be that never bank on one single distribution. I know that sounds rich coming from an Arch fanboy, but I have a backup myself. And I'm not talking about, oh, if Arch breaks, I'm going to jump to Manjaro. That's not what I mean. Obviously, Manjaro is a... When I rank distros, sometimes I'll put them tied together, right? So like I run Arch, but I like Manjaro equally, right? Because I can access the same advantages with it, whatnot. Manjaro has a set of strengths, Arch has a set of strengths, and I think they're similar enough that they're equally powerful, but they're different enough that they have different advantages for different people depending on your use case. Now, in the event that Arch does something that, or the community dissolves or whatever, let's say hypothetically, Arch is no more, and I can't go to any Arch-based distribution because Arch is kaput. Okay, that's just hypothetical scenario here. Well, my backup is OpenSUSE Tumbleweed. That's right, that's a weird choice. That might sound kind of odd coming from me, but my backup is OpenSUSE Tumbleweed. If anything happens to Arch and I can't go to Manjaro, OpenSUSE is my backup. That being said, I could easily go to Debian testing or SID or whatever their rolling release distro is, just because I prefer a rolling distribution. But the main reason that I can do that kind of thing is because the things that I run can run on other distributions. And that would be my advice, is just don't try to use tools that can run cross-platform. I might give CentOS Stream a try. CentOS Stream is, I guess they came out with a rolling distribution for CentOS. I might check that one out in a VM just to see what it's all about. But and you got everybody talking about Rocky Linux is supposed to be this CentOS clone, but here's the thing: Rocky Linux, from what I can understand, is still in development. It's not ready for prime time. Might be in the future sometime, but there's one contender that I think a lot of people are overlooking as a possible replacement for CentOS. And no, I'm not talking about Arch. I wish everybody would switch to Arch, obviously, but that's not going to happen. Is there no... Let me make sure that everything is going good here, because okay. So it looks like my last two streams went up. Not what I wanted it to do, but that's what YouTube's does, right? Anyways, as I was saying, the big contender that I think people are missing in all of this, like people are talking about Rocky Linux, people are talking about Debian, and Debian is great for servers too. Not knocking Debian, but the name that a lot of people left out was in fact OpenSUSE. I think OpenSUSE Leap could make a pretty decent server OS. I mean, they have their Tumbleweed, their rolling release, but they also have Leap, which is a stable branch, and you can install that without a GUI. All right, as far as I know, you can install OpenSUSE Leap as a server distribution, and they have a major company backing them. In many ways, I look at OpenSUSE as kind of the other side, maybe, of Red Hat. Like they have a lot of differences, but they seem to have a lot of similarities too. They both use RPM packages, for example. They both have a paid distribution, and they both have a free version of it. But yeah, I think that OpenSUSE, if they were to play their cards right, they could be a heavy contender in this too. They could pull a lot of users their way. And I think like a lot of the videos that I watched on, you know, RIP, CentOS, and blah blah blah, and all that stuff, I don't think I heard any of them mention OpenSUSE as a potential alternative. It all just seems to be like, oh, you want a Red Hat clone? We're gonna look for another Red Hat clone. And that's not always necessarily the best option. But anyway, is there anybody watching? Is there anybody in the chat? Is somebody else live? I didn't even check if anybody was. See, DT comes on tomorrow. See, Toss comes on later today, I guess. Just making sure I wasn't stepping on anybody's toes there. Anyway, in other news, remember I put up and more. Well, the more is that I created a Proton mail account. I'm in the process of switching over from Gmail. It is turning out to be a process. I do have a lot of spam in my Gmail folder. My Gmail inbox, my bad. But so far I switched over a few of the essentials to Proton. I'm not going to switch over YouTube to Proton. I think it'd probably work a little bit better with the Gmail account, although I am thinking about it. That being said, I've probably noticed I have a new i3 block up here. With that, I was not able to get that to work with Gmail. I think I just had too many emails, too much spam. There's over 50,000 unread spam messages in my Gmail account. I was very bad. And I'm not going to go through one by one and delete all those. Sorry, Google, you're terrible with spam. But so far with Proton, all I've gotten is 172 emails. Most of them are from Red Hat because I used this email back when I was using the free version to sign up for the Red Hat development and download the free version of the Red Hat Enterprise. So I started getting the newsletter for that in this email. Now that I'm using the paid version, I'm finally able to use it with email clients, and I did get it to work with NeoMut. As you can see, I just have to click it and then NeoMut comes up, and I was able to get NeoMut to work with Gmail. However, I was not able to get Luke Smith's email block to work with it, for whatever the reason is. I also have Electron Mail that works with Proton Mail that I have as a backup GUI. I have a graphical mail client. I know, blasphemy for the Tile Window Manager user, but I do need that backup because, let's be honest, NeoMut does do that great with HTML files, and that's pretty much all emails are now, is just HTML files. So yeah, I mean, that's about it for updates on my use case. It doesn't look like there's too many people jumping on here. I think there's nobody. Anyway, I'm gonna have this posted up so people can rewatch it later on if they want. But yeah, that's pretty much all I really wanted to talk about today. I might do a live stream maybe tomorrow after work, where I don't have to get up so early. I could do like an open chat and stay up a little later. But I'll be punching into work at 7 a.m. tomorrow, so I'm not going to stay up that late tonight. Just wanted to jump on and give my thoughts on a few things there. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you feel like it, you could like, subscribe. If you want to hear my thoughts on more things, that would be great. Thank you, and have a hope you had a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and I hope you have a Happy New Year.